Hi everyone, so I am here to go through my detangling slash pre-wash routine with you. So I'm just here taking out the dreaded top knot, which has been up for a week, Jesus Christ, and there we go. I usually secure my hair with satin scrunchie so there's less tension and pull. So I'm going to lightly mist my hair with water, and this helps, to loosen things up. And when your hair is soaking wet, that's when your hair is really elastic and has the more potential to break. So once a light mist, just to slightly hydrate and re-moisturize the hair so it is pliable but not totally, stretchable and breakable. So there's just a fine, balance, especially when your hair is knotted. You don't want to apply too much tension and too much friction to it while it's in such a fragile state. So I am going to divide my hair into more manageable sections. So I generally start with two sections, one straight down the middle and then into quarters, which you would see later. So I'm just, you know, working my way down the middle of my head and working from side to side. First, I'm gonna remist again with our Curli Beauty misting bottle. I would have the link in the description so you could purchase if you like. So now I'm going to subdivide into quarters. Fortunately, my hair wasn't that tangled. I wore my hair up mostly this week, up and back, I should say, mostly this week. So if I wore my hair out, I honestly would have to subdivide my hair into like 8 sections. So generally, I would start with quarters, and then if I am running into too many tangles, I would subdivide that quarter into halves, which would be eighths. So, but fortunately, this round it was just quarters for me. There we go. I'm gonna start with the lower back section, and I like to finger detangle first. So this gets rid of any shed hair or any major knots because you're a little more gentle with your own hands as opposed to a tool like a brush or a comb. So when you get to a snag, you're gonna stop or you're gonna just move a little more gently around it to maneuver around it. So I generally finger detangle each section before I go in with a tool. My tool of choice is the Olivia Garden detangler, which can be used wet or dry. And when you're detangling your hair, always start from the ends and work your way up. You could also see that I'm applying tension just above and below where I am brushing. So this is so you don't yank at the roots or yank at the hair per se. So you kind of stop that tension midway so that you're not pulling your hair out of the root. And I twist it out of the way and go on to the other sections. Yes. And when I am washing my hair, I do leave it in the 4 twists because when you're washing your hair, generally you want to get to your scalp. And when you're manipulating your scalp, etc., and you're, doing those manipulations, it could tend to tangle your ends. So that's why I keep them secured in the twist while I am shampooing my hair. So I would shampoo my hair, and obviously, when you're rinsing your hair, the shampoo does run down to the end, so you are cleaning the whole length of the hair, but focusing on the scalp. And when I am doing my deep condition and my conditioner, that's when I unravel the twists because the hair is clean, so you unravel, apply the product, and brush it through and leave it for the recommended time for the deep conditioner and the conditioner to do its thing. I don't know about y'all, but generally I am a bit more tender-headed at the top of my hair. The top of my hair it's strange. It's loose, but like closer to the crown, there is a lot of I don't know if it's my hair's coarser to my crown. I believe it's coarser to my crown. There's a lot more curly to the crown. So the perimeter of my hair isn't that wild, but the crown is a bit more curly. So half my hair is down and on to the next half. Seems like I forgot to not these out of the way. I love these alligator clips. Sometimes butterfly clips work for me as well, but like it seems like the alligator clips seem to like secure more hair, in my opinion. Again, just gently finger detangling as I work through the head, work through the section, pulling the whatever tangles and shed hair down to the ends. And I do have a small waste paper basket in front of me just to get rid of that shed hair in between. I guess I don't know if it's a curly girl thing or just a girl thing in general. Like, despite me doing all of this, I mean, I guess you would have shed hair from normal things. So like it still gets on the pillows, it still gets on my clothes, it still gets on in the bathroom, it still gets on your partner. So I don't know if it's just having long hair or having curly hair in general. It still gets all over the place, but of course we try our best to keep things under control as much as we can. And also, when you book your appointments with Curli Beauty, which is our mobile hairdressing services, when you do book a treatment, it does include the steps within a treatment as well as a head massage and hair detangling. So you don't have to feel self conscious or anything like that. So once you book, I guess, a wet service, detangling would be included. And if you book a dry service, which is just a style, the detangling would not be included. So you would need to prep the hair before I get there to actually style. But as if you want a separate service. But if it's an add-on service, I mean, obviously the hair would be pre-cleansed and pre-detangled, so we'd be good to go to style. But styling, again, is at a separate cost once you book your mobile hairdressing services. And I am almost in the clear. My 4 sections are detangled and I am about to shampoo, well, excuse me, clarify, shampoo, deep condition, and then seal everything in with a conditioner. Fortunately, detangling took me about 10 minutes, so yeah, that wasn't so bad for this rounds. So out of, well, I didn't go to the shower, but from the sink, my hair is cleansed and soaking wet. I prefer, it is best to apply your styling products or your moisturizing products on soaking wet hair or as wet as you could take it. I start with Sephira, the one which is a multi-benefit spray. It helps to even the porosity of the hair, so whatever products you add thereafter would be absorbed evenly. It helps to detangle, moisturize, the benefits of the 26 minerals from the Dead Sea, etc., etc. So, the hair is easy to work with at this point in time because it is fully detangled, fully moisturized, and it is easy to incorporate the product throughout the hair. So this is the only product I actually brush through my hair, and as you can see, the Olivia Garden detangler works well on both wet and dry hair. I'm going in with a little leave-in conditioning cream on both sides, and as you can see now, I am I guess if you want to call it finger detangling or just raking the product throughout the hair, because you would need to do this to help to encourage the curl, because for a curl to form, the hair needs to come together to form a curl. Going in now with the Sephira Sculpting Lotion. This has a gel-like consistency. It is not a gel per se, but it does provide hold as well as shine. And you could just instantly see the difference. I'm just going to add a little more to the top of my head because that's where obviously I have new growth from the keratin. So you could see, look at that. That is amazing results just from that styler alone. You see any difference with hydration, you see any difference with shine, you see any difference with definition, which is amazing. Love it. Love it. All right, so it works like a gel, but it's a healthier, more professional product. So it is not going to dry out your hair. It adds moisture and again the benefits of the 26 active minerals from the Dead Sea. So it's beneficial and not going to take away from the hair. It adds without taking away. Going in on the other half of my head with the sculpting lotion as well, raking it through. And again, I just have to get a little extra on the top again because that is my new growth from the growth of my keratin treatment. And yeah, the styling product is in. Now I'm going in with horseshoe sections. And before, I would always work half and half with my head and then have this distinct middle part down the back of my head. So now I'm going in with these horseshoe sections across the back of my head because most times I'm going to wear my hair down. Well, this week I've decided to wear my hair down. So I'm going in with the horseshoe or horizontal sections to bring those two distinct halves I had initially back together. And I am going in with a styling foam. So this does add an element of hold as well as moisture. And you could see the difference from the first section I did to the second section. So I've recently discovered foams and mousses and using those as opposed to just the gels. So it is a nice light way to add some extra moisture and hold as opposed to just keeping on, adding on gel. I mean, granted, the sculpting lotion is not heavy, but sometimes you don't want to weigh down. Look, by the end of the week, if you keep adding gel every day, well, not gel, excuse me, the sculpting lotion every day, it's gonna be a bit weighed down, and you're not gonna have such voluminous curls. Because I mean, we start with a lot of volume, and then it kind of depletes. So it's generally when I am maintaining my hair after I have applied my initial products and set the style, I would go back in with my Curli Beauty spray bottle just to reactivate the products and then go in with a little of the styling foam, almost depending. Generally, I don't like, I mean, it depends on my mood, but these days I'm really liking just wearing my hair to the side, not like a distinct side part per se, but I do like wearing my hair to the side. I'm just kind of over like distinct parts. I'm not really, unless like it's a set style, but generally I wear my hair in its natural form, and I don't naturally have a center part. But yeah, I do like this. Do enjoy wearing my hair to the side. Now I don't usually diffuse, but for the video, I did diffuse so you could have a look at the finish. Generally, I do air dry my hair, but I honestly have to say, I've had my dryer, which is my BaBylissPRO Nano Titanium dryer, and this Conair universal diffuser attachment for a while. And I mean, I have it for professional reasons, of course, and I would never actually dry my own hair with it. But I have to say, honestly, drying took probably 10 to 15 minutes, which was actually shorter than I expected because generally when I am doing like a regular round brush blow dry for somebody, it's gonna take about 20 plus minutes, of course, depending on the density and length of their hair. So I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna take forever to dry my hair. And actually it did not. As I said earlier, it took probably just about 15 minutes or so, and I was really surprised, and I was really actually happy with the results because a lot of times you would see me focusing on the back of my head. That is generally the area which would still kind of remain slightly damp despite air drying and whatever. So generally that is the area that takes the longest to dry. And the diffuser the diffuser attachment helps to break up the airflow so that it is more manageable. Isn't this gust of air disturbing your curls? So it works very well, and I have it on high heat but low airflow. So it's hot air, but it's not like gusting and blasting the hair to cause any frizz. So there's that. And I'm focusing mainly to the roots the back of my head, the roots, the back and the, well, I mean, mostly the back. I was gonna say crown, but it's easy to do the top of your head because generally the top of your head, even if you go outside, whatever, it would dry. But like the back close to the nape, it could be difficult to dry. So my focus is really there. And yeah, focusing on the ends as well. I mean, your ends would dry quickly, relatively quickly, because the ends of your hair are the oldest parts of the hair and generally the most porous. So moisture does enter and leave there quickly. Working on the top of my head. Yeah. Yes, so because of the growth, which is my natural hair, that takes the time to dry. Because natural hair is a wonderful thing, and I don't want to say complex, but it is its own creature. It literally is its own creature which you learn to deal with. So I know my area to dry is not difficult, but challenging area to get dry is the back or the nape of my head. And you don't want to go in, I mean, you don't want to sleep on stuff with wet hair. It's not good. Again, when you have soaking wet hair or really damp hair, your hair is more elastic, will tend to stretch and will tend to break. So you don't want to sleep with that. And then I don't know about y'all, but my bonnet, satin bonnet at night, migrates. Sometimes I get up with it on, I get up with it off. It really depends. So it is, and I will actually put this into practice now. This was midday actually. Usually, most times I would like scrunch and wait until like the end of the day to actually wash and treat my hair. But I did this like midday and it was able to dry properly, and I am extremely happy with the results. Look at that volume. Look at it all. Look at that curls in its glory. Oh my god. So yeah, kept it on high heat but low blast, and again focusing on the back of my head because that is my area for you know I guess because of the length of the hair, the length laying all the way to the back, it is hard for the back to dry logically. So it's important to make sure that the back is dry. And I think I was getting to my crown and stuff as well at this point. And when you get the outside of the hair dry, then you could go in and kind of cup the hair into the diffuser. You don't want to do that when the hair is wet because you don't want to create frizz. So make sure the perimeter is dry and then you could go in and scrunch up the hair in the diffuser when necessary. And look at that. These are my finished results. I am so happy. Go to ALMT Group to shop for your products and Curli Beauty to book your appointments.